Welcome to another edition of the Ratitude Podcast. I am so excited today. Last episode, we had Shannon Ray on to talk about nonviolent communication. And today we're going to continue that discussion with Éva Rambala from Hungary, coming direct from Hungary, where I'm going to be headed for a program there. She's with the Center for Nonviolent Communication. We're going to talk about that. So, Éva, welcome to the Ratitude Podcast.
Thank you, Robert, and welcome for all our listeners.
Yes. So the Center for Nonviolent Communication. So the book's been written. Here's the book here. You can get it, Marshall Rosenberg. And then he founded the Center for Nonviolent Communication. Tell us what that's all about.
Oh, Robert, can we start with a topic which I consider more important?
Sure.
Do you agree with me? Budapest is the most wonderful city all around the universe?
Oh, yes, it's such a beautiful city. Yes.
Okay, but it's the most wonderful.
The most wonderful.
I'm lobbying to put it in Marshall's book as a pure observation. I am not there yet, but I use each possibility just to lobby for it. So I hope you like my humor.
Yes, I do.
You can trust me. I live here, so I know how beautiful this city. And if you come, I can share with you the most beautiful parts.
Okay.
But Center for Nonviolent Communication.
Well, like, do you know information about how it started, why it started, what its purpose is? How does it exist now? Is it just for training? Are there other services that the center provides?
So how it started, Marshall Rosenberg was unfortunately, he's not alive anymore. He's our founding father. And he worked with, I don't know with which project, but they wanted to apply for some money. And they said, Marshall, we can ask for money if we have an official organization. So please create something. So then we become an NGO. This is the way it started. By now, we work in probably more than 70 countries, and we teach nonviolent communication. Do we offer anything else but trainings? We offer some service for those who would like to join with us and to become certified trainers by the International Center for Nonviolent Communication. We are very free in a sense of each trainer does whatever they wish. There are certain limits to keep, and some of our colleagues are doing therapy, personal coaching, organizational development, social change project, parenting project. So basically each trainer do their own offerings, and in a way in each country there are different focuses.
Okay, so and tell us in your words, what's nonviolent communication really all about?
When I went to the first training in 1996 in Hungary, in a big hall of the Army University, I heard one sentence which is still alive in me. And it was the program was run by Marshall Rosenberg. The only reward of being a good girl is depression. And of course, if you are a good boy, you may end up being depressed as well. And I hated to hear from my mother, just for the sake of peace, only now, please understand and do this or that. And when I went to this training, and this psychologist with a PhD convinced us, don't try to be a good girl. If I summarize what he offers instead of being a good girl or good boy, if something happens and don't like, please speak up without being critical.
Mm-hmm.
This is very practical, everyday use. Many times I experience something that I'm very frustrated, and I'm happy I cannot kill with my eyes, because otherwise there would be lots of dead people. And If I remember, okay, can I be fully honest without criticizing anyone? When I say without criticizing anyone, I don't criticize you or I don't criticize myself.
Mm-hmm.
But have you read Marshall book, Robert?
Oh, for sure. I've got it highlighted. I'm studying it. I think it's the greatest thing for communication ever.
Okay, Robert. Do you remember what Marshall wrote about the definition of nonviolent communication?
Well, he wrote quite a few things. The things that I remember is that it's not alienating language. I like that word. I've never heard that before. And essentially, I think what he said, because I struggled with this, I don't like the word violent. Because I go, I don't have violent communication. But I think the way he phrased it is that anything that hurts another human being is violent. And so that's what I remember. But you tell me, you're the expert.
There is no pure definition how he defines nonviolent communication, because once I remember we had a training only for certified trainers, and he asked this question, and the answer he accepted started with, to me at this moment, and the sentence finishes with, how is this to you, or with something connection. So the essence is, whenever you have a definition, then the connection might be dead between us. But the goal is to connect with the person who is next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And even if Marshall didn't have a strict definition, when he was asked why did he choose nonviolent communication when the expression has the part violent,
Mm-hmm.
and his answer was, this was a very poor and still the best translation to English from Gandhi, the word ahimsa. And the way he described, when the waves of the ocean calm down, you don't force yourself to be nonviolent. It's more like nonviolence find me, which is the way of thinking that helps me to arrive to this place.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but sorry, my favorite audience is IT guys. Are you interested in why?
I am interested in why. I'm not an IT guy, but tell us.
You know, I do a lot of work with teachers and social workers. I don't know how is it in America, but in Eastern Europe, if an average teacher doesn't like the training, what do? They whisper into the ears of their neighbors, and during the break, they complain and they pretend like listening. What a decent IT guy does. Even in the middle of my sentence, they stand up, leave the room, send to hell me and HR. Their time is more valuable. They don't waste their time. But if IT guys come to a training, they follow the suggestions and they want to be effective. Plus, I believe they have one of the biggest power, because they can make our life hell or they can care for us. With decisions, I even don't understand the problem. So I love logical people, and easier for me to connect with them. And I do a lot of work with teachers, of course, as well. So this was half joke and mainly an inspiration for everyone to speak up and to be honest, preferably without criticism. But since I do quite some work in business and IT guys, I need to provide a definition. I'm not as courageous as Marshall Rosenberg was. So my definition is to create and maintain the quality of connection where we care for each involved party's needs. So it means it's not enough to find the love of my life. It's important to create and maintain the connection and everything and everyone that involved.
Yeah, I really like that definition. It's interesting because in some conversations I've had, one party believes that they are communicating effectively. They're voicing their needs and their concerns and what they see and what they have, but the other party doesn't see it as feedback. They see it as criticism. So how do you manage that when you can't see the other's point of view?
I participated on more than 40 such 9-day training.
Oh, wow.
And I would like to share with you one of my most memorable experience with the hope it will help to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall never taught how to teach nonviolent communication. He said, if you can live the process, then you will find a way how to connect with your audience. And once we were somewhere in US, and a woman asked me at the late afternoon of the 8th day and asked, what do I think if she would read from Marshall's book and they would discuss it? And I was shocked because we so much cared for interaction, asking everyone, blah, blah, this. Come on, do you come from the previous century? Or what? Reading a book is so boring. Who will listen to you? And after a kind of a pause, she continued, because this is what we do each evening in the convent. The lady was about 60-something, and she spent her whole life as a religious nun. And then I understood why Marshall said, we don't teach how you can teach nonviolent communication. If you can live the process, then you can find a way how to connect with the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot teach you how you can connect with certain people. It's you need to find a way.
Mm-hmm.
What practicing nonviolent communication I can offer to you to separate the assumption, analysis, generalization, and criticism from facts.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware the facts, my feelings, my needs, my request. Guess the other person's possible feelings and needs.
Mm-hmm.
That can be taught. But how in that moment you can connect with that person, I cannot teach you because each moment is different. But if you search for strategies how you can connect, then you are more likely to find it. After explaining this so long, if my goal is to change the other person's thinking, then I am already not focusing on the connection. How can I come back to how can I connect with this person and find a way? And I cannot guarantee the other person will do it in my way, but I can focus on do my own best.
That was beautiful. This is such great information that's complementary to what we did with Shannon Ray, where she explained the steps. By the way, she created a 0 step where you ask permission to have this discussion or ask if this is the right time and timing. So I thought that was kind of really neat. So now, okay, all that sounds really great. So now tell us about what happens in a 9-day program. What do you do for 9 days? You're not reading the book. I get it. So what are you doing in 9 days? Because that's a long, long training. I don't know that a lot of people can afford in their minds 9 days of training. So tell us what you want to tell us about that.
Sorry, originally I come from business. I'm a salesperson.
Yes.
So before the 9 day, we offer 2-day sightseeing in Budapest, so I can prove you this is the most wonderful city all around the universe.
Yes.
Which means we get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Marshall originally started with 9 days because he said he doesn't check if his colleagues, who called certified trainers now, how they can teach the process, but he wanted to check how we can live the process. And if you are together from 9 till 5, basically these are my one-day trainings, you can behave yourself from 9 till 5. But at the 7th day, when you are already tired because you didn't go to sleep on time, you didn't sleep in your bed, you don't have your usual routine, then a lot of stuff can come out. We are more authentic. And being together 50, 60, 80 people with the purpose of practicing something, this is long enough. Lots of things will come up from me, and we are going to share a lot, and we are going to receive a lot. And usually we may have some real conflicts where we can practice this process in real life situations. So basically practice.
Okay, good. So do you, on day one, do you teach all the 4 steps and then you practice the rest of the week, or how does that work?
I confess to you, of course we have a lot of conflicts. I was so furious when I wanted to write on the Hungarian IIT, we welcome only advanced NVC practitioners, and they didn't allow me. And now I'm very happy because on the Hungarian IIT International Intensive Trainings, we have quite some people who has very limited, like maybe just reading Marshall's book. So we are going to, for them, we are going to teach the 4 steps. For those who are familiar with them, we are going to offer them different aspects of practice. But basically, the whole focus is not so much on the theory. Be honest. If you have some routine in exams, maybe you are a lawyer, so you are well trained to sit in a book and read it. You can learn it within a night. The theory is not so complicated to mentally understand. But when I am tired and to remember, my focus is not on what you did wrong, but my focus is connecting on how do I feel at this moment and what is my need at this moment. That requires a lot of practice. And we are going to practice it from different perspectives. Social change is a big chunk. Spirituality. We are going to have a Jesuit priest. I consider him as my guru, but he doesn't want to lead me. But whenever I call him, he is willing to listen to me and be with me. So spiritually is well taken care of. Some social change aspect, how to use it in schools, at home, with our children, parents. Basically, we try to create a structure where there is some curriculum, we are going to deal with it anyway, while we give equal space for whatever comes up and whatever request we hear.
So let me ask you, how was your mind or mindset, and how did you decide to go to your very first nonviolent communication or read the book? What was going on in your life? How did your mind develop? Growing up in Hungary, how did your mind develop that you were even open to nonviolent communication, especially in a former communist country?
I come from a non-educated family from a small village, and I thought if I have never been a good student, how could I be a teacher? So I went for business university and got a teacher degree, but I never taught. And I was unemployed for 3 months, and I was desperate what to do with my life. If I earn a little more money, and so what? And then one of my friends gave me a flyer of Marshall's training, so I went there. And then I heard this magic sentence, if the only reward of being a good girl is depression. So I kept going back to the next training and next training and next training. And our organizers were very concerned, how do we pay Marshall the 5-day training in Hungary? And I calculated, I have 500 euro for my holiday. That's what maximum I could spend. It was in 99. And so I offer for this training. I don't have enough money to go for a 9-day training in Switzerland. Plus, I offered my apartment, so we don't have to pay for a hotel for Marshall. And when Marshall understood how much money I offered and what else I offered, so he invited me with full scholarship to a 9-day training to Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
And I was scared to death because my English was far too weak. And so it was very scary to be there, be the only Hungarian.
Wow, what a beautiful story. That just reminds me that God or the universe or source or whatever you believe in spiritually is always guiding us to better ourselves, to the path that we are meant to be on our soul's journey.
And do you want to hear some more juice?
Yes.
After the training, I started a relationship with Marshall. So for 5 years, I was his life partner.
Ah! Wow.
This is the way I ended up being on more than 40 IITs. Those days when Marshall was asked, where does he live? His answer was Lufthansa. Because he had 300 workshops day per year.
Wow.
When he was at the same hotel for 10 days, that felt like holiday to him. So that was the easiest place to be together.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask this. As I've looked through on the Center for Nonviolent Communication, all the events, they're all over the world. So like in the next couple months, Costa Rica, Africa, Portugal, Germany, Canada, Hungary. But when I looked at specifically where they're located, they're not in the big cities. They're out in nature, it seems like. And the accommodations are not 5-star luxury. So is there a strategy around that?
Each local organizer has freedom to choose the location.
Okay.
It seems to me in most countries where we start, often teachers come first.
Okay.
And school-age children's parents are the most likely to come.
Oh,
no one tells us that's the way we should do, but somehow naturally it happens in most places. And to be in 9 days at the center of the city is not so attractive because most people who come to my trainings, we live in cities.
Yes, yeah.
And for 9 days, it's sometimes we are loud. Sometimes, if there are 60 people and they are happy, even if we just laugh, not even sing or make music, but just so that can be loud. So neighbors may not be so happy with us.
Okay. So now you and I talked about we'd like to have some more American people come to Hungary for this training. And you've got 30 people already signed up, but you could take 80, 90 people. So that's kind of cool. So tell us about the facility in Hungary. Where's it at? What's it going to be like? Is it beautiful? Here's your opportunity to market.
Thank you. That's my favorite place. I am not a vegetarian, but their vegetarian food is just super good, not just by my standard. We already organized this IIT, but it was canceled because of COVID. And we still did a 9-day training. But it was not an IIT, just a 9-day training. And like one woman who is a really committed vegetarian, a German woman, she has money, she has good taste, blah, blah. And she said one of the best vegetarian foods she ever got for 9 days. They are teaching Tai Chi and they created this space for themselves. It's not luxury, but it's very human. The connection with the staff is very human. We don't have so many private rooms with private bathroom, and you already occupied it with a gentleman who has come from Saudi Arabia. So basically the private bathrooms are already occupied. We have rooms for 3-4 people. So please invite your friends so you can be with them. This is the disadvantage of it. The advantage is super beautiful garden, lots of outside spaces with roofs but no walls, which gives some comfort and still the experience of being outside.
Mm.
And I did many NVC residential trainings there, and the environment, the beauty of nature and the closeness of nature is so supportive. I don't know what will happen this summer, but there were some wild horses next to us.
Let's go back to the nature. I'm really interested in that because I thought on the site it said Budapest, but then when I started looking at it, it's not in Budapest. It's someplace else. It's like in a forest, nature, beautiful place. And I think a perfect place for a retreat or workshop to be held. So where is it in relation to Budapest, actually?
It's about 1 hour east, 40 minutes on the highway, 15 minutes in a smaller, super good road. And then the last 8-10 minutes, almost no road, but we still can go there. You are happy you don't have to come with your own car. And those of us we take there. And when I asked them if there is any plan to fix the road, they said, when there is a good road, it's maybe not good for solitude and people can come here, but we want to be kind of far from civilization. We still have good internet.
Okay, very good. And what are the dates for the Hungary
We
program?
start July 18th
Mm-hmm.
and finish 27.
27,
Sorry.
yeah. I'm going,
Sorry.
oh no, we're going to be going back to the future.
No, I chose this time because in my best knowledge, this is the 2 weeks where the most school globally has summer breaks.
Oh, okay. So you're expecting teachers, a good number of teachers
And
to be there.
parents.
And parents.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, Shannon Ray, who spoke to us last segment about the process, she went because she wanted to improve her communication with her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, good. Anything else you want to share with us about nonviolent communication, your program in Hungary, any funny stories that you've got, any gossip that you want to share, anything that you've got as we kind of wrap things up here?
Sometimes people ask me, I'm very much involved. I did a lot of work in Ukraine and I have a lot of friends there and I hope we will get a lot of people from Ukraine. And sometimes people ask me, does it still worth to learn and practice nonviolence? I believe this is the time when we need the most. I don't know where the world is heading, but I know I personally want to go to this direction.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of hating others or myself, finding inner peace, find inner resources, and do whatever I can.
Yes.
And those of us, or in a moment when we get desperate and hopeless, I cannot change alone the whole universe, but I can influence my own universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe practicing nonviolent communication was never needed as much as now.
Yes.
To act from this inner peace.
Yes. That was beautifully said, Éva. I so much agree with that. And I'm so looking forward to the training. You know, sometimes just life takes us in a direction where we're meant to be. And I think that that's an important part of my journey also. So I thank you. I'm so looking forward to meeting you in person and getting your tour of Budapest and then enjoying nature and hearing some more funny stories. I got a feeling you're a funny lady there and got some good gossip that you could share. And so thank you, Éva Rambala from the Center for Nonviolent Communication for being here on the Ratitude podcast.
Thank you for organizing. And I'm looking forward to meeting you. And I hope you will still invite a couple of your friends.
Everyone on the whole audience, you're all invited. Come with me to Budapest, Hungary, July 18th to the 27th, and it won't end on the 17th.
Yes, 28, 27. And very grateful for our listeners. And I hope they got at least one sentence that will stay with them.